Hi, love. Welcome back to another episode of Rollerset to Mindset. I'm your host, Angela B. Fuller, master hairstylist turned certified transformation coach. Today, we have a juicy topic lined up for you. Part of this episode stems from the fact that we are at the end of the month of January, and I'm telling you, time is flying. It seemed like it was just yesterday that the new year rolled in, and here we are at the last Sunday of the month. And the love month, the month of February, is about to roll in. And I was just thinking about how we made a decision at the beginning of the year to create transformation within our lives. And so my pop question for you today is how are you doing with that? How are you doing with that really? Do you feel like the promises that you made yourself at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the year, do you think you're on track with that? And if not, what on earth is holding you back? I often say that transformation is an inside job. And sometimes the hardest work that we ever have to do is the work on ourselves, the work that requires that deep questioning of where you are, how did you get there, and how do you step out of it one foot at a time. And sometimes that is so hard. And yet, if we really think about it, I think it can be so easy as well. I think the easy part comes in making a decision. And after we've made the decision, which is the easy part, just say the words, I've decided to create transformation in this area, that area, and that area. But the hard part comes in doing the work. And I think in order to begin the process of doing the work, I think if we begin by affirming ourselves, telling ourselves that we are worth it, even when we don't believe it, I think that will help move the needle a little bit further. What do you think? So, this episode, I want to talk about, being that we're about to enter into the month of February, the love month, let's just talk a little bit about what it means to love ourselves. What are the things that we can do to let us know that we are loving ourselves? For instance, when like sometimes you say, "Oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed." What exactly does that mean? And you carry that wrong feeling throughout your entire day. I think that's a clue that lets us know that something is off, that we need to begin to pay more attention to us, to how we are feeling, to how we are processing things. That as things come to us and then come through us, how are we processing it? And why are we allowing certain things to cause us to feel depleted? I think what we have got to start doing is taking the time to spend with ourselves. Take some time to listen to ourselves. Take time to evaluate how a certain experience or how a certain word made us feel, or how a certain interaction with someone made us feel. And then we can't take that thing for granted. We've got to ask ourselves, why did I feel offended? Why did that statement or that person, why did I allow that to cause me to feel less than? Why did I allow it to cause me to feel that I'm not worthy of it? And I think a lot of that goes into what we experienced as younger people, younger girls, younger women. And I think part of how we allowed certain experience to cause us to feel, I think that we are still living and responding to those experiences. So I want to encourage you, for those of you who are listening, I want to encourage you to make it a habit of affirming yourself. Make it a habit of telling, like we see someone and we extend a compliment to someone, or we see someone that we haven't seen in a long time and we are so thrilled to see them. I want us to begin to greet ourselves the same way. The same way we walk into a space and we tell another person good morning. We ask them, how are you doing? Why don't try doing that with ourselves? When you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, good morning. Good morning, Angie. How are you doing? How did you sleep last night? What are you feeling this morning? Pay attention to ourselves, because how we do one thing is how we do everything. If we do not begin to start with ourselves, we can sometimes put that same energy outside of ourselves. And then before you know it, our whole day becomes downtrodden. Our whole day becomes stressful. Our entire day begins to feel less than. So let's try and take control of that. Let's make a promise to ourselves. When I get up in the morning, when I go in that restroom, that bathroom, to prepare myself for work, the first thing I'm going to do is look in that mirror and say, good morning, Angela. Girl, how you doing? How did you sleep? It is so good to see you. Girl, I love you. I adore you. Thank you for being you. And thank you for allowing me to be me. And then guess what? Kiss yourself. Show yourself the same love, the same kindness, the same consideration that you would show someone else. And I can almost guarantee you that it will change the course of your day. Because I think a lot of us forget that we have the power within ourselves to help ourselves. We don't always have to look outside of ourselves for help. Let it begin within. Every good thing that you need, it is inside of you. Yeah, sometimes you may wonder, where did it go? You may feel sometimes that it has left you, and that's okay. But what I want to encourage you to know is that it's up to you to call it back. People can help us. Uh, Books can help us. Seminars, empowerment seminars, meditation, all those things can help us. But understand that it comes from within you. It's already there. All we have to do is to tap in and wake it up. And we have the power to do that for ourselves. And everything else is complementary. I am hosting a Healing the Child Within workshop in a few days, Saturday, February the 3rd. And my goal is to be there and hold space for women, to help them to tap into that little girl who has been wounded on certain levels, who the little girls within themselves that have been neglected or not paid attention to or not affirmed enough. Yes, I am there to hold space for these ladies. But my message is to them, as it is to you today, that it all begins within you. You have the power. the strength, the love, the hope, the encouragement within yourself. And it's just a matter of affirming yourself, even when you don't believe it, even when you don't feel like it. Affirm yourself and then watch what happens. And do it on a regular basis, because as you tell yourself, you will begin to believe it. And yeah, it may take some time. And yes, you may feel like you're kidding yourself. But I promise you, if you continue to do it, it changes. And then it will begin to bubble up and through you and out into the space that you occupy. Okay? And when that happens, guess what? It becomes contagious. So not only do you change your world, you can possibly change the world and the environment of someone else. And that's where it is. That is where you want to go. You want the power not only to encourage and hold space for yourself, but to encourage and hold space for those who you come in contact with. Because we are not an island. We don't live on this earth by ourselves. We don't live in our communities by ourselves. And I think when we begin to realize that, we can change our situation one affirmation at a time, one individual at a time, one community at a time. And ultimately, we can have more impact and greater impact on the world, because we are in an era and we are in a time in which we need it. We're crying for it, and we need it desperately. So let this episode be the first episode of many that help you to see that you don't have to look outside of yourself to make changes within yourself. I believe that when we wake up, it gives us an opportunity to make our world, our space, our environment a better place. And it begins with each of us, one acknowledgement at a time. So I want you not to forget the promises that you made to yourself at the beginning of the year about the transformation you want to see within yourself. I want you never to forget that transformation is an inside job, and anything outside of yourself is extra, is the support. But the main thing is you. Okay? I will talk to you soon. All right.